Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990's Represent. We're starting into our third cycle in 1992, doing an album. And this episode, we're taking a look at Dirt by Alice in Chains. Just an incredible grunge slash metal album. I have some notes here about it. We're going to get through those notes. We're going to take a look at the track list, some of the reviews, and I think there's a couple quotes from like Jerry Cantrell that we'll take a look at as well. So let me grab my notes here, and we'll get into it. There we go. So Alice in Chains, Dirt, released September 29th, 1992. This is their second studio album. Let's see here. I also re-listened to earlier this year because I was considering doing it for an episode. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But their first album from 1990, Facelift, which is also very good. So that might show up in a future episode. But after listening to Facelift, I went back and then also listened to Dirt again. It's been a while since I've listened to it. I want to say I first listened to it, didn't listen to it in 1992. It was probably closer to like the mid 90s, like maybe like 96, 97 or so. I think I either like borrowed a friend's copy of it or like listened to it at like my friend's house or something. Really enjoyed it back then. It's very, very heavy, like both in like instrumentalization and also lyrics. But listened to it like once in the mid '90s. Didn't listen to it again until maybe like 2004, I think, because on I think it's in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Radio X has the kind of alternative rock station, and Them Bones is on that station. So that definitely like rekindled my interest in the album. Listened to it again, like I think I got like a couple more times, like between 2004 and now, and then listened to it again very recently. It still holds up, still an incredible album. I think easily their best album. I think it's definitely like their best selling album. It just has so many awesome songs on it that they kind of stand the test of time. It's definitely an incredible album to take a listen to. So, like I said, the album it's grunge, but it also kind of like falls into like heavy metal as well. Maybe like a little bit of alternative. I still categorize it as kind of grunge just because Alice in Chains is mostly like a grunge band, especially like the whole like Seattle sound at the time with like Nirvana and like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains kind of up there, Soundgarden as well. So I still categorize it as grunge, even though this album is like a hybrid between like definitely like grunge and metal. So I'm definitely kind of like a mix there. It peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200, which I think is very good. Let me actually just close this window here. Not getting those notifications. But basically, peaked at 200 on the Billboard 200. Went quintuple platinum. Like I said, easily their best album, but also their best selling as well. This was also apparently the last album that they released that had the original lineup of the band. So I think like sometime in 1993, didn't really go like look at the reasons why, but the bassist, I think Mike Starr, got fired sometime in 1993. So it's like shortly after this album came out. So this is the last one that had the original lineup of band members on it. Let's see here. Darker subject matter on the songs, like you have like Rooster is pretty because like talking about like I think it's like a the Vietnam War, just various much darker kind of subject matter. It was critically acclaimed. We're going to get to the critic reviews, and then we have a quote from Jerry Cantrell that I like to read as well. But we'll take a look at the reviews. It's basically critically acclaimed. Very good review scores overall. And we'll just go off this like we do on these album videos. Just go through this kind of mix of various reviews and ratings. So AllMusic has it at looks like a 4.5 out of 5. Chicago Tribune has it at a 4 out of 4. You have what's this? Christ Gow's Consumer Guide has it at I think it's like a B. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A. Kerrang gave it a 5 out of 5. Pitchfork has it at an 8.7 out of 10. Pitchfork usually I've noticed has been kind of very, I don't want to say stingy, but they definitely are more harsh with their reviews. So an 8.7 from them for this album is very good. Q has it looks like at a 4 out of 5. Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 4.5 out of 5. 7 out of 10 from the Spin Alternative Record Guide. And then Vox has it at an 8 out of 10. So very good reviews here. We're going to take a look at this quote from Jerry Cantrell that's right up here as well. This is the reception of the album. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, so Jerry Cantrell was interviewed in 1993 for Rip Magazine. Basically says that that in this quote, it says, this is a quote from Cantrell from again, Rip Magazine from 1993. It says, I think, so basically a lot of people were kind of criticizing it for being like having a lot of drug references. He said that not all the lyrics do have drug references. So I think this is in response to that. So it says, this is a quote from him. It says, I think Sick Man is not that bad. I thought most of the hassle would come from Junkhead and Gobsmack. Those songs are put in sequence on the second side. Those 5 songs from Junkhead to Angry Chair for a reason, because it tells a story. It starts out with a really young, naive attitude with Junkhead, like drugs are great, sex is great, rock and roll, yeah. Then as it progresses, there's a little bit of growing up and a little bit of realization of what it's about, and that ain't what it's about. I've been using this phrase a lot, but it makes a lot of sense. It's really easy to die. It's really hard to live. It takes a lot of guts to live. It doesn't take a lot of guts to die. Those 5 and Sick Man are the only ones talking about that type of mentality, drugs being the thing there. The rest of the stuff is not like that at all. Rain When I Die is a song to a girl. That's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on it. A good portion of it is a story, and it's meant to be that way. It's kind of overwhelming and unpleasant at times, unsettling maybe, but that's why all those songs are together. Even if it's disturbing, it's not something anybody else needs to worry about, or the way somebody else needs to live their life. So basically, I think they were getting, people were like thinking it was all like drug references, and in that interview, he kind of said, no, that's not what it's all about. He also had a quote about Them Bones. Them Bones is an amazing song. He says, Them Bones is about mortality, that one of these days we'll end up in a pile of bones. That was kind of in the same magazine. It says, Them Bones is pretty cut and dried. It's a little sarcastic, but it's pretty much about dealing with your mortality and life. Everybody's going to die someday. Instead of being afraid of it, that's the way it is. So enjoy the time you've got, live as much as you can, have as much fun as possible, face your fear, and live. I had family members die at a fairly early age, so I've always had kind of a phobia about it. Death freaks me out. I think it freaks a lot of people out. It's the end of life, depending on your views. It's a pretty scary thing. Them Bones is trying to put that thought to rest. Use what you have left and use it well. So those are just some quotes from Jerry Cantrell about the album, and then particularly Them Bones. I think Them Bones might be one of my favorite tracks on the album. It might be my favorite, but that one just goes incredibly hard. That song's amazing, and it starts off the album too, which is great. What else do we have here? So we did the quote. Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say, so I already mentioned it was in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in 2004, and then I want to say it was 2006, but I didn't play it until 2007. So I think 2006, the PS2 version, PlayStation 2 version of Guitar Hero 2 came out. I didn't get that version. I had Guitar Hero 1 on the PlayStation 2. But Guitar Hero 2 I did on the 360, so that was came out a year later, and Them Bones was on that game. I remember playing Guitar Hero at a local bar, and there was one of the musicians that would play regularly. Really liked Alice in Chains. He was basically their live music person on weekends. Don't know if he's still doing that or not, but he really liked Alice in Chains, and he would basically play acoustic covers of I know he played an acoustic cover of Man in the Box, and I think Rooster. I don't know if he did any other covers, or if he had any other covers in his repertoire. But he played those 2 covers pretty often. And I remember, and he didn't like Guitar Hero because it was hey, he's I know how to play real guitar. Why would I play this. And I think one night he was trying it out, and he was like, hey, hey, is there any Alice in Chains on this game? And I was like, yeah, there's like one song. So I put it on, and I remember like him and I just playing them modes. Like, I mean, I think coming from like, I think if you come from a guitar perspective, it's kind of easy to get. But I also think like since like the chord structures are different, you're not. It's like it might be easier to play Guitar Hero, or maybe harder depending on like just the way you play guitar. If it was like pro guitar, you'd probably be able to do that because that was like a Rock Band 3 thing. But remember that song being featured in Guitar Hero 2. I think some of the other Rock Band games ended up having, like I know Facelift, I think was in Rock Band 2 maybe. I don't recall exactly which ones it was in. But yeah, so basically some very good use of of their songs in video games there. And now we're going to get into our track listing on this album. Let me actually just pull back up there. So track listing, we have 13 tracks here. It comes in about 57 minutes, 57 and a half minutes, so not quite an hour. But yeah, again, 13 tracks. Track 1 is Them Bones. Them Bones is incredible. It's one of the shorter songs on the album, but it just goes incredibly hard. It's a great track there. Track 2 is, let's see, Damn That River. That was great as well. Track 3 is Rain When I Die. Track 4 is Down in a Hole. Again, one of the more kind of iconic Alice in Chains tracks. Track 5 is Sick Man. Track 6 is Rooster. Again, another one of their more iconic hits. Kind of about, come to snuff the rooster. Like, basically about a rooster in like Vietnam who basically is like scouting out kind of stuff in the Vietnam War. Track 7, and I think they maybe used use roosters in other wars as well, but I think they kind of picked up what I remember like being told about it. I think somebody was telling me it was specifically more about Vietnam. But anyhow, track 7 is Junkhead. Track 8 is Dirt. Track 9 is Gobsmack. Track 10 is Into Dream Sequence from Gland. It says sometimes it's unlisted, or it's also sometimes listed as untitled. That's track 10. Track 11 is let's see, Hate to Feel. And let's see, again, Hate to Feel is, again, track 11. Track 12 is Angry Chair. And track 13 is Wood. So, or Wood, W-O-U-L-D. So that's, again, 13 tracks, 57 and a half minutes. Played it again very recently, and it still holds up incredibly well. It goes very hard, but it also has a lot of the hallmarks of grunge, but also like a nice hybrid kind of between grunge and metal. So I think Rolling Stone ranked this album. I don't know exactly where it got ranked, but it was on one of their greatest lists, and it was greatest metal album. So there are some characteristics of metal on this album, which makes it really cool because it's not just a straight up like grunge record. Like I would definitely say like Facelift is more grungy. This is basically a nice mix between metal and grunge. But incredible album. Easily, I think their best album. Some classic tracks on there, like Down in a Hole, Rooster, Them Bones. But definitely worth checking out. You can stream it wherever you want to listen to it or whatever. But very good album. And that's, again, kicking off our third cycle of 1992. I think that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back again in a few days doing a movie. No idea what movie we're going to be watching yet for this next episode. That'll be out in a few days. And then we'll be doing another video game and going through the rest of the decade like normal. But that is going to do it for now. So thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.